Hey, Assalamu alaikum. Let's understand about the total mineral review. So we will understand about what is the mineral and why it is important and what is the content which that is present, what is the percentage of our body we will understand, and basically the mineral is the electrolyte which that is important of our blood and the tissue for normal physiology like the cognitive function in the brain, the nervous system, the cardiovascular system, the skeletal system and the digestive system. Everything required the mineral for normal function and normal physiology for your body. Whenever the deficiency, so you will cause the many type of complication, not single even. So let's understand about the major minerals and then we will understand the trace mineral and the ultra trace minerals. So here is the notes which that's showing in the screen. So I have collected the information. I have collected this information. So first is the major mineral. First of all, we will understand about that. Remember, the mineral is present in the form of cation and anion. So the extracellular cation and the intracellular cation and the intracellular anion and the extracellular anion, which that is important for the normal function, but we will understand about the all type of the cation and anion intracellular, but we are not going to the deep concept, but just understand major mineral is the calcium, phosphorus, potassium and sodium, chloride and magnesium. Basically the calcium first, the 1.5 to 2% of body weight it is. Dairy and greens which that contain rich amount of calcium. Calcium is important for the bones, so we will understand. So calcium we will understand in the next. So this is the phosphorus, 1 to 1.5% of body weight, which that is basically you can consume phosphorus through meat, fish and egg. Potassium is very important cation which that is present intracellularly, so regularly requirement of the potassium is too much, like the 4700 milligram per day. Why? Because the loss of the potassium is more because it is the intracellular, so whenever it will go into the blood, so it will excrete through urine rather than the excretion of the sodium. So the sodium will reabsorb in the nephron, but the potassium will lose. Potassium, so in this way, basically potassium 0.3 to 0.4% of body weight. It is less, but requirement of the potassium is more. So remember, because the loss of the potassium is more as compared to the other minerals. The banana and avocado, which that is important, but I am preferring the avocado, which that, and also the green vegetables. Why? Because the banana contains sugar, but if you have less fat in your body, so you can consume the banana, but that is not too much good source of the potassium, because avocado is sugarless, less sugar amount of the sugar. So in this way, if you want to ketogenic diet, so you should prefer the avocado, not banana, because it contains fructose and that is major problem. The sodium is very cheap salt, which that you can think about, that is the table salt in the form of sodium chloride. 0.1 to 0.2% of body weight, which that is salt, is the sodium, while the chloride means the Cl negative, so it is 0.1 to 0.2% of body weight. So the same are present in the salt is the source of the sodium and chloride. Magnesium, so magnesium is too much important for the muscle contraction and the muscle relaxation, the brain function, cognitive impairment correction, the Alzheimer disease prevention and a lot more things. So remember, our nervous system requires the magnesium and our immune system also requires the magnesium, as well as our muscle, our digestive system, all things require the magnesium because synthesis of the protein and a lot more things is due to the magnesium. Also the glycolysis function to produce more ATP and to produce more pyruvate due to the coenzyme magnesium, which that is basically bind to glycolysis. So the magnesium is 0.1% of body weight and it is present in the dark leafy and nuts because chlorophyll are present in the green vegetable. So that is why you can identify easily if the green vegetable and dark green, so it means the chlorophyll is more. so you can consume the magnesium. So the trace minerals. Trace mineral is the basically is the 8, like the iron, zinc, copper, selenium, manganese, fluoride, sorry, and the chromium and the molybdenum. The iron is 0.005%, which that is more or less. If the excessive iron accumulation will lead to cause cancer, and excessive accumulation of iron will lead to cause hemochromatosis and a lot more imbalances, and that is basically is the overloading of iron is bad, so remember about that thing. But you should consume the red meat and spinach part in the form of moderate. You should consume the spinach, because I am preferring the spinach. Why? Because the red meat is not good for consuming the iron. So if for example you are consuming the spinach, so this is the green vegetable, so in this is the all calcium, phosphorus, potassium, sodium, chloride and manganese can also replenish by these things, so spinach is very good. Zinc is very less, 0.003%, and it is present in the beef. So zinc is very important for the reproduction, for the production of sperms, and the zinc is also important for the increase and spike of the testosterone. Zinc also work as a coenzyme for the antioxidation and a lot more things as a cofactor. Copper. So the copper is 0.0008%, is very less, and it is present in the meat and red meat. So remember, the copper consumption, you should forget about that, because whenever you will eat any food, so you can consume the copper, because you should ignore the copper, because you can consume easily through different diet whenever you will get the plan like ketogenic diet. Selenium also ignorance, so it is the trace mineral, so 0.0006 basically percentage of our body weight. So onion is the best source of the selenium. So what is the function of the selenium? Selenium increase the libido, selenium increase the sexual arousal and a lot more things. So the selenium is very good. It improves the mood, and it is also booster of the testosterone. Manganese 0.0005%, and it is basically manganese. You can also ignore, because you should don't focus on the manganese. And fluoride, which that is 0.0003%, and the chromium is 0.0002%. Molybdenum is 0.0001%. So these trace minerals you should ignore if you have not any complication related to the trace mineral, because it is less complication as compared to the iron and zinc. So you should focus, you can focus the iron, zinc and copper, but selenium, manganese and fluoride it can consume easily. So anyhow, ultra trace minerals. So ultra trace mineral mean very less amount. You can you are unable to calculate. So the cobalt, iodine, silicon, vanadium, nickel, tin, aluminium and boron. So anyhow, this is the ultra. So in this here is the diagram which that shows the extracellular matrix and intracellular matrix. And in this is the sodium, chloride, calcium, phosphorus and magnesium, which can be extracellular and the intracellular. So in this is the ratio which that basically differentiate the extra and intracellular cation and anion. In this intracellular protein and amino acid which that increase the negative charge, while the extracellular matrix contain positive charge. In this way, the fluidity maintenance and the other material through basically is the movement and transport of the food is possible due to these content, and that is why the maintenance and homeostasis of the cell is very important for the normal function. So anyhow, the function is the fluid balance, blood pressure regulation, nerve transmission, and the muscle contraction, relaxation, and bone health can be possible. The deficiency, if the deficiency of the calcium will lead to bone disease, phosphorus will lead to muscle weakness, and the potassium will lead to fatigue, muscle cramps if the deficiency. So I am talking about the deficiency. If the sodium will lead to low blood pressure and dizziness, while the chloride, which that lead to dehydration. So remember, the chloride is very important for the holding of the water in your blood and tissue. In this way, the prevention of the dehydration through these minerals. So magnesium, the muscle cramps. So the magnesium is very important for the muscle relaxation. Whenever the magnesium decrease, so the calcium will unfortunately move into the muscle cell, will lead to cause twitching and cramp of the muscle. Without contraction, the muscle will contract during the sleep time and etc. That is known as the jerk of the muscle. So in this way, the basically tremor can be possible due to the magnesium loss. So the iron will lead to cause anemia if the deficiency of the iron. In this way, the hemoglobin formation will not possible because the iron is the central part of the hemoglobin. Zinc is the wound healing. So the wound healing will decrease when the zinc. So zinc is also important for the wound healing. So recovery of the injury due to the zinc possibility is that the wound formation will lead to healing of the wound. So I hope it makes sense about that. If you like my video, please make sure to subscribe. This was the review of the minerals, the trace and major minerals and the ultra trace minerals. What is the deficiency? So this is a short review to understand. I hope you make sense about that. If you are new, please make sure to subscribe, like and share. See you in the next video for this. Bye. Allah Hafiz.